This video is on variables in the context of language research. A variable is a value or any element that can be measured. There are two main types of variable: independent variable and dependent variable. An independent variable is the variable that the researcher changes or manipulates. The dependent variable changes in response to the changes in the dependent variable. In a study on the effects of repetition on incidental vocabulary learning, what is manipulated or changed is the number of repetitions made. It is the independent variable. The value of vocabulary learning depends on the number of repetitions made. So, vocabulary learning is the dependent variable. In this kind of study, it is argued that the more a learner encounters with a word, the more likely the word will be acquired. The repetition may take the form of digital gaming. The game may draw the learner's attention to new words. Other activities may also be tried to find the effect of repetition on vocabulary learning. This includes listening to songs and exposure to the same word in many different contexts. In a study on the effect of writing instruction on written composition, the variable that is changed is the writing instruction, and the outcome is the written composition. Various pedagogical approaches and techniques can be used in teaching students how to write. The researcher may want to try some of the following best practices. Among the best practices in writing instruction are setting writing goals. Students can set their own goals that will take their writing to the next level. Another possible approach is using models. Writing models can be used as a guide. Students may find it difficult to write or produce a particular genre because of their lack of exposure to that genre. The instructor can also go for process writing, where the teacher and students go through the writing process together. The students can think about what they are going to write. They revise and edit their drafts and produce the final version after obtaining feedback on their work. Another instruction of interest is collaborative writing. It refers to the writing process that gives students the opportunity to cooperate with others to produce a piece of writing by contributing ideas. Many studies have been done on this topic, including the effect of technology-supported collaborative writing on students' performance. A third example is on business English language needs as perceived by employers. In this case, we have to be clear who are the employers. A different employer may have different needs where English language proficiency is concerned. Thus, the independent variable is the employer. The needs for English would depend on the employer, making the use of English the dependent variable. An employer can be grouped under a number of categories. A researcher may be interested in the type of business that it is running. Among them are services, tourism, and food and beverage. The researcher may also want to look at the size of business, that is, whether it is small, medium, or large. When analyzing the use of English, a researcher can divide it into the four language skills, namely reading, writing, speaking, and listening. One of the possible findings for this study is that speaking skills are perceived as very important by tourism companies. Another possible finding is that all four skills are favored by employers regardless of the company size. In the first example, we will look at the variables in a needs analysis secondary school EFL learning experience. In conducting a needs analysis, one of the factors of interest is the differences in learning preferences based on grade level. The variable that is changed is the grade level. Students of a different grade may have different learning preferences, which in this case are the dependent variables. There are many ways of learning, and these include studying grammar rules, doing written exercises, listening to songs, reading aloud, watching YouTube, doing projects, classroom discussion, and playing games. The list of preferences is longer. A researcher may choose the ones that are relevant to what is being investigated. The results of the data analysis revealed a statistically significant relationship between student grade level and student preference for teaching approaches. Older students in the study indicated a much stronger preference for doing written exercises, while younger students tended to prefer listening to songs. So far, we have seen 4 examples of studies and identified which are the dependent and independent variables. In the first study, we pointed out that the number of repetitions is the independent variable, and there are many ways of repeating the words. In the second study, the researcher is investigating whether the method chosen is effective in improving students' written work. In the third study, there are many aspects that a researcher can seek to investigate whether the employer is concerned. Among them are the type of business, the size, and the type of clients that they have. In the fourth study, the researcher is interested in identifying the relationship between learning preference and variables such as academic year. When the academic year changes, there may be changes in the method of teaching that the students prefer. Apart from dependent and independent variables, variables can also be classified into 2 main categories: categorical and numeric. Each can be classified in 2 subcategories: continuous and discrete for numeric variables, and ordinal and nominal for categorical variable. A numeric variable is also called quantitative variable, and a categorical variable is also called qualitative variable. The values of discrete variables can be counted. For example, you can count the number of students in a class. It is not possible to include a number of students that will be a fraction of an integer like 10.5, for instance. Other examples include years of schooling, number of pages in a book, students' rank in high school, number of people in a household. As for continuous variable, it can take forever to count. It is any value within a range. For instance, consider the age of a person. The person may be 20 years, 2 months, 14 days, 20 minutes old. In practice, the reported age would be rounded to the nearest year, so it would be 20 years. Other examples of continuous variable are height, temperature, satisfaction rate, income, and test scores. Categorical variables can either be nominal or ordinal variables. A categorical variable can take a fixed number of possible values. This is when observations fall into discrete groups by placing them into fixed groups which are mutually exclusive. Each unit of observation is assigned to a particular group on the basis of some qualitative property. Categorical variables are also called qualitative variables because they refer to qualities of the participants. One type of categorical variable is nominal. Nominal variable can have two or more categories. However, there is no intrinsic ordering within these categories. A nominal variable cannot have any numerical properties. When you ask how can the quality of teaching be improved, various answers can be given, and these could include having a faculty development program, having elements of gamification in teaching, and adopting active learning approach. These categories cannot be assigned a rank, thus they cannot be ordered. Other examples of nominal variable include marital status, religion, ethnic group, country, hair color, and occupation. Another type of categorical variable is ordinal variable. It is distinguished from the nominal scale by having a ranking. An example of an ordinal data that is widely used is the Likert scale. This is an example of a Likert scale. This table is called a 5-point ordinal scale. In this case, it is used to rate the degree to which the respondents agree with the statement. Other examples include the different levels of language ability, different education level, and also blood group. We have explained the different types of variables and how are variables used in research. In summary, you need to know which type of variables you are working with to choose the right statistical task for your data and the appropriate way to interpret your results.